So in this video as well, if you feel comfortable with rationalizing the denominator, go ahead and try a couple of examples and then turn the video on to check your work. So with simplifying radicals, the first thing that I recommend is simplifying before you rationalize the denominator. So in our first example, we have 5 over 15, which simplifies to 1 over 3. X over x cubed simplifies to 1 over x squared. And z over z squared simplifies to 1 over z. So now when I rationalize the denominator, I have smaller numbers and variables to work with. Also, I can simplify x squared, or the square root of x squared. That's going to come out of the radical as 1 over x before I simplify that denominator. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and rationalize multiplying by the square root of 3z over the square root of 3z. In the numerator, I will have the square root of 3z. In the denominator, square root of 3 times square root of 3 is 3. I've already got my x that I pulled out from before, and square root of z times square root of z is z. Now, a lot of students will try at this point to simplify the z over z, but the z in the numerator is under the radical. The z in the denominator is not. So this actually is in simplified form. Let's jump to question 2. Again, I'm going to simplify under the radical before rationalizing the denominator. 24 divided by 6 is 4. A squared divided by a is a. And b cubed divided by b is b squared. Well, now I have no denominator, so I don't have anything to rationalize. So I'm going to go ahead and simplify. Square root of 4 is 2. Square root of b squared is b. And then I have an a left under the radical. Question 3, this time the denominator is under a radical all by itself. So I need to rationalize this one right away. Sorry. Let me back up. Actually, what I'm going to do is simplify what's under the radical before I rationalize. The square root of 18 has a perfect square factor of 9. So I'm going to pull that out first. Same with the square root of b cubed. I can pull out a b. And then under the radical, I will have the 2b. So when I rationalize, I only need to multiply by the square root of 2b over the square root of 2b. Sorry, there's something wrong with my calibration. I have calibrated this board probably 12 times already trying to make these 3 videos, so I'm just going to keep going and hopefully it will fix itself. In the numerator, we've got 4 times the square root of 2b. In the denominator, the radicals cancel. 2 times square root of 2 times square root of 2 is 2, times the 3 is 6. And then we'll have the square root of b times the square root of b is b, times the b is b squared. Now again, I can't simplify my b's because one is under radical and one is not, but I can simplify my 4 over 6 to 2/3. So we have 2 times the square root of 2b over 3b squared. I'm going to let you try example 4, and I'm going to jump to 5, and then I'll have you try 6. So for number 5, when we rationalize there is one radical and one is not, we do it the same way we did with complex numbers by multiplying by the conjugate. So I'm going to multiply by the square root of 10 plus 2 over the square root of 10 plus 2. So in the numerator, I'm going to distribute my square root of 3. Square root of 3 times square root of 10 is square root of 30. And plus 2 square root of 3. Since they're not both under a radical, I can't combine them. In the denominator, we will have to distribute. Square root of 10 times square root of 10 is 10. And then I will have the square root of 10 times positive 2, and the square root of 10 times negative 2, which will cancel. Remember, our goal with rationalizing the denominator is to get the radical to cancel, so that's good. Negative 2 times positive 2 is negative 4. Simplifying in our numerator, we have square root of 30 plus 2 times the square root of 3. All over 10 minus 4 is 6. The square root of 30 cannot be simplified because it doesn't have a perfect square factor. So that is as simplified as we can get. So with question 6, go ahead and try it the same way I did 5, multiply by the conjugate, and be careful when you're multiplying by the 2 square root of 5 that you keep everything, that you keep track of everything.